Good morning to all of you. Before we start today's session, please feel free to do event check-in. This will give you access to additional resources and information about events that we are running on Reactor, which are around similar topics to today's session. I will share the event check-in link with the event ID in the Q&A section shortly. Also, we have launched our Reactor group on LinkedIn. Please feel free to join the group to get the latest update on session happening on Reactor. I will share the joining link soon. Thank you all once again for joining us today. My name is Rashmita and I'm the event planner for Microsoft Reactor Bengaluru, India. This session will run over the next 60 minutes including Q&A. The session is being recorded and will be uploaded to our Reactor YouTube channel within 3 to 4 days. I will share the link to our YouTube channel in the chat section soon. Quick word on our code of conduct. We display this at all Microsoft Reactor events that we run, and it's just a reminder to be aware of others. Key thing to take out here is to be respectful of other people's views, understanding of differences, being kind and considerate in the way you engage. The chat will be open throughout, and we do encourage you all to participate. Also, please keep your mics muted during the session. I would now like to welcome Renu, our speaker for today's session. Renu is a subject matter expert in the evolving landscape of cloud computing and is a senior software engineer with the commercial software engineering team at Microsoft over a decade. But for now, I will hand over to Renu to begin the session. Over to you, Renu.
Thank you, Rashmita. So, as Rashmita said, we are going to cover two topics today. So, let me quickly share my screen so that you can get a glimpse. So, I hope you can see. Can you please confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, Renu.
Yeah. So, thank you so much for joining today's session. So first topic that we are going to cover is around security, and second is going to be the reliability. And let's first talk about the security thing. So as on today, most of you, including me, we work on the remote workplace. So we work from home. And if in this era of remote workplace, cybersecurity is the potential threat. And to prevent cyber attacks and protection against the urgent threats, Microsoft collect billions of signals from the security ecosystem that to create the contextual threat intelligence system. So this intelligence is already built in most of the Microsoft product that you see today, that include our Office 365, Windows, Azure, Defender, and Azure Sentinel. So these are a few of those. So, and in this session that we are going to held today, we will follow a single signal, a kind of journey uh, that is going to start from your first detection of a wild till the rule that protect you. So you will identify a threat, then you will put some rules on that, and then we will demonstrate you how you can gain direct access of those rules, and based on requirement you can extend them to suffice your business purpose. So that is all about today's security session. And so basically in this session there are four top goals which are important to highlight, and before we start, let's discuss those. So as we go through our discussion today, keep these four goals in mind and check each and every and whenever if you think I have missed something, just call out. So first we will determine what generate a security signal. So that is going to be our first step and first goal. And then second, we are going to consider or see, we will talk about the state of security and why it is important to monitor those signals. And then we will give some insight into our Microsoft, how Microsoft is taking those signals, tunes them and give them back to the customer based on the underlying intelligence, threat intelligence system that we do run. So these are the key. Now fourth one is, or the final is, we will learn how any customer can use those signal to monitor security in their own environment. It's not only the Microsoft services. They can extend based on their business rules. So it happens every day. There is a specific activity in your company that need to be monitored in the event that there is a potential uh, for compromise. Simplest or easiest example can be your meals. So this activity is a normal activity, but it stands out because it's normal thing that your user do every day has a different payload attached to it. And you can easily correlate what I'm trying to say. And it could be a potential malware. It can be a virus attached to that. So now, so there is very basic common scenario that you can see in every day. So one is a user opens a mails that look like a potential mail for or like valid mail, and then user click on the web link that is provided in that mail. So that's very common that we generally do. And once user click on that, it move to the web browser, and that looks like something wrong with that site. However, upon further inspection by the security team, the mail does not pass the legitimate all the virus and unknown things that users see on the website. That could be a potential, like simple thing is suspicious domain in which user is getting routed, or some scripts that will try to run on your machine because you have clicked on that site. So once the site was accessed to download, a specific download may get initiate in the background. As I said, there may be some scripts that will run behind the screen. So the user will never get to know about this because it's the background thing that is happening after clicking on the specific URL. But we need to sure enough that it should be secure. But actually what happens, those scripts are intelligent enough, they can even download secretly, and a process on the user device is initiated, and it will install something on the machine. We are not sure what that something is. It could be any virus, it could be any malware, or it can be any software that is going to fetch data from your machine. Even if this ultimately turn out to be nothing, because user can't see anything that happening on the machine because everything is background process, he just click on a web URL. So to be able to secure our environment with this type activity, whether this is unconscious or but these things need to be recorded and monitored. All the digital asset that we do have on our computer these days need to be protected. And however, wondered how this type of activity get recorded. So that's the biggest challenge. And then cataloged as a threat so that rest of the world know about it. So that's why someone who has already worked on the security side, they must be knowing how these antivirus get updated, because capabilities they to know about such malware functions or scripts, and they generally report to the other world as well, so that everyone can secure their organization or their computers based on the policies. So let's spend some time talking about that, and then let's see how all of these efforts are integrated together so that you can take advantage of these signal in your own environment. So let's first, before we dig into discussion about the path, is the thread signal take from farm to table, or from user activity you can say, or a signal that they receive, and how it is getting converted to the thread intelligence. Let us discuss why it is important then uh, when this happens. So security is consistently moving target. So it's not like you have secured your system today, it is going to be secure forever. It's a constant thing and it's ongoing. So threats are constantly evolving because as these security signals are turned into threat intelligence, threat actors keep altering their method to attach, because every time there is no script, and that's why every time new kind of virus is getting generated, you need to update your security system. So that's why threat intelligence that need to be aware of that. So these threat actors evolve alongside with the threat intelligence that's built up to stop them. And mass distribution of these malware has been to us from several decades. You can remember so many incident that has been in past. So but what we see today is mass distribution malware has evolved into malware that is targeted to an individual organization. It's not only to a specific person, they can impact the whole organization. From past few years, you have seen an increased investment by these threat actors into eventing file-based detection using the PowerShell to load attack code directly into memory, because those are the scripts, they can directly access your memory. So that's that's quite frequent from past few years. Earlier it was something, there were different ways to handle it. And now recently we have seen rise of live off the land attack campaign that involve no malware at all, and these frequently target online software as a service, like that you say SaaS service. And for example of those is like Office 365, and involved method like social engineering, credential threat, and native platform capability. And that include like the document download for Gmail, and delegately or forwarded rules and PowerShell script. So this is just an example of some of the evolution or some of the current attack vectors. So it's not like the simple, or which was easy to understand as compared to earlier days. So you can see it's important that these threat activities are monitors using some unique and comprehensive method to expose user activity when they are really actual threats. It's not like only suspense. So Microsoft is constantly collecting these threat signals and turning them into valuable threat intelligence that can be used by our customer. And let's talk through how this specific process work. So Microsoft Intelligence Security Graph is a series of interconnected systems that enhance Microsoft security capability, which include your data, machine learning, and human insight. And we have learned that successful use of threat intelligence system required a large diverse set of data and extensive integration into your process and tools. So Microsoft has already invested in both. First is diverse set of data and integration of other tools. So so that our customer can take advantage of all of these. So at the current time, Microsoft process around 6.5 trillion signals each day. And through the use of our services, those are like Office 365, our customer are generating those signals to us. And through those signals, Microsoft has an unparalleled view into cybersecurity activities that get turned into threat intelligence and fed back into our systems so that our customer environment are protected enough. And actively or effectively, the more of our service our customer use, the more protection they will be getting. And that's the respect through the use of our service. Customers are helping themselves to protect their data. And even I bet you don't know that Bing is a security tool. So most, although we think this is only for searching, it's a web browser, but this is a security tool. And want to better protect your environment, and at the same time it also limit how advertisement that you see on the screen creepingly following you around the internet. And even once you are switch off your laptop, it also follow on your device. So Bing also used as a search engine. On other side, it's also used as a security tool to capture those activities. And on top of all of that, we layer shared thread data that we get from our partners, from the researcher that we do have as part of Microsoft. And these are a kind of 3,500 plus people, and those work on full time on security and law enforcement agencies. And we partner with whole world through our digital crime units, as well as botnet data that we collect through the digital crime unit. All the data is getting converted into intelligence, and all that intelligence make up the intelligence security graph. So once how powerful, or the investment that we are doing in that space, so now centralized visibility is also important. Many of our customers are familiar with the consolidated security console that you generally see on the security.microsoft.com. So this is basically this bring together our Defender, Office, and MCAS product, among others. But for truth centralization, there is two different aspects for our cloud services that provide a holistic overall view of the security signal in the environment. So Azure Security Center and Azure Sentinel are different capability. These two are totally different, and they are basically complementing each other capabilities or purpose. So let's first talk about the security center. So Azure Security Center, it is focused on protection and governance of Azure workload. And how it is do it is by assessing a risk of them, reducing the attack surface, and generating alert on potential threat. And this is by using the advanced threat detection technologies. The rule, or the rule roles, I would say, who use this Azure Security Center are typically include security engineers, governance, risk, and compliance professional that report risk of the uh, SISO, your CISO basically. On other side, Azure Sentinel is focused on monitoring all environments. So it allow monitoring alert and security related event from any source. So this source can be your all security solutions, third party, custom rules. So and now Azure Sentinel is built for the security analyst. So that's the main role, or the people who are going to use it. And apart from this, this is also used by the security operations center managers to make their work easier and more effective. So this also can catch any kind of potential threat in your environment, like we do have other open source projects around that. So even those services are already on security.microsoft.com that you can easily see, and but internally they are connected to Azure Sentinel to provide the single centralized console for everything. Even we'll see a glimpse of that today in our session. So there is yet another piece of this service that might get overlooked, but is equally important, and it's also somewhat revolutionary in the way it works. So the Sentinel is built on technology that allow easy sharing of content. This enable organizations that use Azure Sentinel to develop their own collaterals for monitoring and exposing the latest thread, and then make those available for the collaboration. So this capability also provide value from Microsoft to our customer. It's like both parties are getting benefit out of this. And at Microsoft, our product follow a defined DevOps pipeline, ensure that any update or any feature enhancement that is coming up, and even any new threat intelligence that we are going to build, that can be directly go to customer. And a couple of great example of this are provided in some recent or publicly known situation. So let me give you few example of this. Like first, uh, in the case of solar winds security flaws, in our early 2021, Microsoft was able to deliver guidance and monitoring capability directly to our customer, and that was again through the Azure Sentinel, and in a matter of hours, so that our customer could identify whether or not they are impacted. And another example that I would like to put up here is Cassia and the print nightmare situation, and Azure Sentinel again help there as well. So Sentinel customer were able to quickly develop their own intelligence to protect their own environment, and then share the collateral and knowledge that other in Azure Sentinel customer or community, they can protect themselves. So it was a kind of community driven that activity happened, and with help of Sentinel. So customer are never alone. So we are all in this together, whether it's through their partnership with Microsoft or through their participation with their peers. So that you can rest assured that best approach to organization security and the full of wealth are knowledge, and that is shared with no hurdles. So that's very transparent. So Azure Sentinel thus follow this, as I said, the DevOps practice. And so we follow the same DevOps pipeline that all our product follow. So we use GitHub as a piece of that pipeline. Most of the content provided here is fed into Azure Sentinel, sorry, automatically, so that Azure customer have the ability to utilize the most current indicator monitoring immediately. And I'll also show you the GitHub repository which is there, and from there you can see, have a look in the pipeline. And this is an open source on GitHub, not a private repository, public. You can easily go and fetch it from there. And there is some content that has been supplied for the specific purpose. For the recent solar wind situation that I was talking about, that's a good example of that. And it has been supplied by our customer, also our partners, as an effort of crowdsourced security coverage. So if you want to have a look in this repository, you can directly go to aks/as github. Even I will showcase these URLs in end of the session, and you can see the folders and the files for the detections there as well. So let's talk about how you can take a detection from the GitHub repository and use it in your own Azure Sentinel implementation. So accessing the GitHub repository from Azure Sentinel is easy and available for everyone. And this GitHub repository contains content and collateral based on their threat signals and developed to be supplied to our customer. So one area of particular interest is the detection folder that you see. So uh, this folder basically contains the analytics rule, and those have logic needed to look for a threat signal on the customer environment. And once those are enabled to run in a default schedule, it will continuously look for something that has been designed to look for. So if it is find that thing, the security team will be alert and provided enough information to know what happens, who did it, determine the business impact, and how to respond on that. On top of that, they can also see how to evolve security operations to streamline the process for the later possible automation. So in this folder, you can see most of that stuff. So to install any this analytics rule into your own Azure Sentinel environment from the Git repository, you first need to navigate to the detection folder to locate something of your interest. There you can see there is a sample script, it is provided. So once you find that analytics rule, and then you need to click on the raw button so that you can see the raw script. And it might be you are already familiar with how this website can screw formatting of the data. So that's why row function is, it is going to sanitize the code so that once you are going to copy paste, or you are going to use this as is, so it will remove all the unwanted formatting and unnecessary special character out of that. So that's why you need to have it as a raw. And once you have the analytics rule information from which you want to create a new alert, simply go to the analytics blade in the Azure Sentinel console and choose to create a new scheduled queue rule, and start the entering the required information to identify a new rule. And that will include the name, description, severity, and then move on including the query logic that is already there in the GitHub repository. So now code has been sanitized now let's take a look on what is needed to create the analytics rule properly that has been supplied, and see is all correlated in the Azure Sentinel analytics rule creation result or not. So there you can see this is a activity that has been shown on the screen, and once sorry, so at this point, just a copy and paste operation from the GitHub directly into your provided rule field. Copy the rule and then paste it there, and then create using the result and promote it to save it. So once you save this rule, it will immediately begin searching of the data collected from the environment, and that you just go and have a look. So now let's walk. I'll show you demonstration how this process should show how it is easy and anyone can do this. So one second. Okay. Let's take our own analytics rule from the collateral that has been provided on the official GitHub repository for Azure Sentinel. And on screen, you can see there are two tabs open. One is Azure Sentinel and another is our GitHub repository. And this is the place where actual logic exists that you can use to create your own analytics rule. I will go through and find something that is interesting, and we have already talked about the detection folder, so we are in sight of that, and of course one of these services that you see here can connect to Azure Sentinel, and of these, and where you can monitor and user can accomplish the environment. So there you can see these are basically office operations, and one sound interesting that you see is like identify and potential try to expose within our environment, and you can see there it tells that there is a rare and potential high risk office operation, and give us basically the description that this is the information that we are going to need supplied to us from this GitHub repository to able to create our own analytics rule. So next thing that I see on the screen is click on the raw button, and what this does, it can you can see it automatically convert your code into basic sanitize, turn into a text format. Anyone that is worked with any kind of script or code, they can easily correlate how important it is when you need to copy paste something directly from this. So all bad formatting will be removed, and by using this raw operation with GitHub, we can sanitize this so that we know this copy and paste operation is going to be success. So once we have sanitized our the full code, we need to again go back to Sentinel console, and from once we go there, we are going to the analytics rule blade. We want to create a brand new schedule rule. A schedule rule is going to run as it sound in a schedule periodically to look for whatever is what we want to tell to go look for within our data for a potential exposed threat in our environment. So it's going to ask me few things to start, like name, description, and other parts as well. So I don't have to know about myself because we are utilizing GitHub content. So we can see it. I can go back to this tab, my browser of GitHub repository. You can see that there is a name, rare and potential high risk operation, office operation is listed here. So I am just going to go ahead and copy that, and I will paste it into the application field. And the description is also provided here. I'm going to copy that as well. So 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 I'm going to go through this and start looking at the collateral. So my repository to determine whether or not this is guidance that is provided to me. So the tactics, let's go back here. There is tactics that are associated here is called persistence and collection. So let's select those, and they are going to allow us to categorize this incident, this alert that gets generated, so we know better as security team where we need to put our focus and our time. So as the severity guidance around this is specific law. Obviously we need to change based on what we know about our environment, but I'm going with the recommended guidance here, uh, and based on whatever we know about the GitHub repository. So uh, this all the office activity will record and will put it there. So once we have done that, let's go for the next step. We have pasted the query, and now query is here. I'm going to go ahead and paste. After that, after a few seconds, it will verify. And not only this, it will, so during verification it actually see whether the syntax and everything is fine for the query that we are going to show it here. So then it will fill out the schedule, and after that we can provide whether to run 24 cross 7 or day. So once we are done it, we will just go ahead and adjust that. In our brand new analytics rule, also there is an alert threshold that you can see, so that you can also set which you want. So if it is set to 0, it is default value. It tells Azure Sentinel that every time that you find this occur within my environment, I want you to alert me. So you can adjust this based on your requirement, and this is the way you can customize and react the data that is coming into your environment. So this is the extent of the information that is supplied to our analytics rule, that you see automation response is also there. And finally, once we have all the information filled, you can see area of we can respond to these alert as an incident automatically in certain way. So just go ahead and review the things, but once you have identify, it will pass the validation rule because we have provided all the information as it was required. So I will go ahead and create this. So this does not take long time. The analytics rule that has been saved, it will be created, and now we have our own brand new analytics rule. And there you can see it. For now I just copy pasted it from there, but if required, you want to customize it, you just need to know the query language, and you can easily customize that. So this is the way you can use the uh, GitHub repository to create your own rules. So once we have done this, this is about how you can customize the rule you can create. And this is a glimpse of the graph that show you how many events and alert you have got over the time. And now so keeping in time interest, because we need to cover other topic as well. So that was the demo how you can create your own rule, and you can have a look on the the graph which data you have got from for alert and event. If you want to do your hands dirty, you want to explore those, there are the link that you can use. So lastly, customer need not to wait for us to supply any analytics rule based on the new threat. You can use the same custo query language, and this is available from our GitHub repository. You can develop your own logic around analytics rule, and this capability enable our customer to develop their own detection based on the most critical of their environment. And this is also going to supply the ability to monitor for newly reported threat, which threat intelligence does not exist, for which we have not created yet, but customer partners they have created for that. And creating this custom analytics rule is the same result like that I have shown you, except the new there are few more fields that need to be supplied, and that you can easily see in the instructions if you go through the documentation. And if you are more interested on the custo query side, that and you are interested in the security side, then there is an exam that you can take, that is SC200, and that is for the security operation and the analytics associated that you can go for. And these are few key resources that you can explore if you want to learn a little bit more about the security model with Sentinel and how you can create your rules. So let's That was one part. Another part that I would like to cover, and we can cover that very quickly, that is around the reliability. So for this, we are going to go backstage behind the screens with the Azure front door and see how it leveraged global vantage points and Microsoft global network for the self-heal and optimize user experience all the way from edge to the app on Azure. So that is the focus of the reliability session today. And if someone is having any question, I think we can take that, or we can take after completion of the reliability. We can cover both of these two together. Okay, so let's think of few scenarios. Like, for what we will do in this reliability session is few things. One is Azure front door. Basically this is a versatile service that can improve the security, reliability and performance of application. And how it is do is by providing access to the Microsoft use global cloud network, and that's within a few clicks. And Microsoft has bet on front door over last 8 years, and it has been battle tested. And now we deliver 80% Microsoft owned SaaS services in addition to customer Azure customer services. And there it has been matured enough, because it's a 8 year of period, so it has been matured enough to scale globally and meet the need of the most demanding enterprise services on the planet. Another key thing about front door that I would like to highlight is it play multiple roles in cloud architecture. And that is for all the solution for the internet facing apps and the content. And how it does it provide parameter security service to improve security. Another thing that is do differently is it serve as global load balancer as well, and that's how it's also provide the reliability. And on top of this provide content caching and app for API escalation, uh, just to improve the performance, because if you have everything on cache, it's quite your response time will be quite easy to achieve your target level. So instead of deploying on Azure region, front door that we are talking today, this is deployed on to more than 180 global edge locations. So like in key metros that we do have, and the edge of Microsoft wide network, and to connect back to Azure via private Microsoft owned or operated fiber. So we are expanding rapidly and almost one edge site per week. And we are recently expanding to new market, that is Morocco and Manglo. These are the two-tier market in US and Europe. We do have few. And having these global vantage point at low latency to the end user services, this typically is on an average 30 millisecond average. And this allow front door to provide a unique service that enable an application to very fast and self-healing end to end. And this also helps in the any application related or internet related issue. And now we will have a look how actually does it do. So basically, as I mentioned, front door, I gave you, I think, enough information about it, what it is do. So as I said, it sits on the edge of Microsoft network and set of global vantage point. And it basically connect the control this connect all the sites is the Microsoft control fiber network that we have across the globe, and it provide a high quality path between all of these edge sites and the Azure data centers. And this front door serves as a bridge between user and the device on the internet. And this is application hosted inside even or outside the Azure. So basically, it leverage a network technology to locate and draw end-to-end user traffic to the closest location that end user is there, and then route the traffic to the application. And because the front door can see the full path between the edge and the application, as a load balancer can quickly detect the damage where it has happened. Is there any failure, or you can see there is any increased latency, and it will try to quick heal by detecting this. So it will try to route the traffic from the faulty routes to the best route possible with the latest very low latency, and removing all the failure and damage points in between. So better than the DNS load balancer, this front door also work as a proxy and terminate traffic to the edge so that it can more quickly respond to the route around the failures. And basically DNS rely on the wait time, TTL that need to cycle before it can be reroute traffic another an outage. Unfortunately, these TTLs are often high to avoid performance impact, and not every network or device respect these TTLs. So this is particularly bad with the mobile and the enterprise network, which are often have overridden TTLs to limit the rate of change to DNS. Here you can see an example where it took around more than 1 hour to get 95% of the coverage to self-fill after an outage. So front door react much quicker since it does not need to update DNS to change the IP addresses that endpoint device see. So it quickly route all the new connection to the healthy data center because it has hold all the required information related to that. And so I mentioned this front door does not just focus on healing application issue. It is able to help applications self heal end to end. So this basically sit on the edge of the internet and behind the screen. It also help to optimize the reliability of the connection that come from end user device to the front door, and also the self-heal issue outside the Microsoft network. And with help of the technology, like any cars from fast coverages from front door already provide an enterprise grade solution to internet routing. However, we take this another level by seeing the path between users and front door service in real time and dynamically routing around the internet issues whenever possible. So this is a really interesting map that you see on the screen. This solution is called Map of the Internet, and it is the service that sees globally internet quality from end user. And it is deployed in many Microsoft product and constantly monitors the internet performance and customer experience for Microsoft users. And it is actually doing this via the front door at the real time. And this system can disambiguate between the expected customer client performance across the wired and wireless network, and separate issues from the transit one to give us the real data visibility of connectivity experience of hundreds of millions of users across the globe. And that map on the screen that is showing is snapshot of 1 day of the global user reported their internet experience connectivity to the front door, with each green dot that you see on the screen is equally one or more user. And this data turn into set of signals relevant to the geographic grouping of the users and the infrastructure that they use to connect to the front door. The series of machine learning algorithm those consistently check for both failure as well as alternate path to route the traffic in case if there is a failure occurred. And if quality degrade through one path, then it has an alternative, then traffic can be quickly en route through that alternate path, so very less time will be taken in that. And any application using the front door get these self-healing benefit. And we are now expose some of these technology that can be directly used through the tool that is our internet analyzer. And apart from this, there are few available link that you can also explore. And now let's pretend you are operating a service delivery to the user in many different location, including on mobile phone and your app that is deployed into different centers and data centers. And you have got an email from your boss who want to evaluate the change happening, how traffic is getting routed, and more specifically how to change to your infrastructure, say just adding new security checks that will impact performance experience by the end user. Now you say this looks like A and B testing and waiting for to happen. So with and analyzer that I talked a little bit a while ago, you can get an answer this by singing up or adding a JavaScript tag to your website, or the client hosting the same the test object in your application. And internet analyzer can then also disturb the JavaScript that is getting run on the screen, and which will test performance your application, aggregate the result on your behalf, and finally it can showcase. And the result will be delivered as part of the best possible route to the end users. And finally, you can see um, everyone got the data in as required in minimal time. So now based on those rules that are given to the report to your user, what is the difference in performance latency for your user by percentile and at the global or the countrywide scope? So you can leave internet analyzer running and it will continue to give result by monitoring your application for changes in the latency over time. There is a graph that you can see or the scorecard that you can see on the screen. And this is the data delta information, and this is the percentile, but on other side you can also see the actual figures based on which percentile has been calculated. And these are the few filter parameter I would say that you can analyze, and you can like whether you want to do it hourly or you do have specific daytime or some other settings for that to apply the filters. So this was all about the front door that you can leverage for the reliability to see how things are moving, if something need to be optimized or more. And if you want to explore front door a little bit more, there are two different offerings that you can see. One is standard and premium is also coming soon. And these are the link of the documentation that you can go through, and you can learn on this a little bit more. And this will help you to understand more on the Azure front door and internet analyzer. So this is all about the reliability piece that is covering most of the front door, and the security piece in which we were covering the Sentinel, Azure Sentinel for detecting the threat, and then finally doing applying the rules and all. So this is all about today's session. Any question or any query if you have, please feel free to ask. And there is really good another thing that I would like to highlight is there is really good architecture document that you can go through based on your business scenario. Those are already implemented with many customers, so if you want to explore those as well as an architecture guide, you can go ahead and use those. So I'm open for question. I'll keep looking at the chat, or you can connect me after even this session as well on my LinkedIn, or you can connect with me on any other platform as well. You can easily find me with name Renu Saluja. So we are monitoring the chat, or you can unmute yourself and you can ask a question.
I think you were pretty clear, Renu.
Thank you so much for joining today's session. It was, it was great to have you in this session, and thank you so much.
So thank you, Renu, so much for doing this session for us, and thank you all for joining us today. Please feel free to do event check-in and do share your feedback about today's session. It will help us to choose our topic better. Also, please visit our Microsoft Reactor Bengaluru meetup page for more upcoming session. I have already shared the series link for all the upcoming session from the well-architected framework. So please go to that link, register for all the sessions. Thank you all once again and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much.